So some exciting news breaking this evening. It is the fact that, as I understand it, Liverpool are weighing up a move for Juventus and Italy forward Federico Chiesa. Now, Liverpool sources at the moment insisting it's very early. This is just exploratory talks around the potential for a deal. But you have to say, look, there's only 4 days left in this window, so I'm sure we are going to find out very, very soon whether this is a goer for Liverpool and whether they are going to be able to get a deal over the line. And I think, look, Richard Hughes, the sporting director, said, didn't he, in his press conference at his unveiling, that Liverpool would look to be opportunistic in this summer market. And you have to say, this is the archetypal opportunistic move for several reasons, really. I mean, you have to say, for starters, that Liverpool have been long-term admirers of Chiesa. You will have seen the links to him down the years. That very much a player that they've scouted and watched closely and really liked and wanted to be in the conversation if he was ever going to come to the Premier League. They wanted to be there at the front of the queue. But for several reasons, that's obviously been delayed and not happened in past seasons. And one of those really is the fact he's had a few injury troubles now. Not so much last season, but maybe the 2 seasons prior to that. You know, injuries have really slowed down his progress, because you will remember he's rated really as one of the potentially the best players in the world given his performances when he first broke through. But as I say, injuries have been a problem there and not really quite delivered on his potential thus far for that reason. And that's left him in a situation where, again, that chimes with the fact this is opportunistic, where he's been able to run down his Juve contract to its final year. And now they are very, very keen to sell for that reason. They don't want to lose the player on a free next summer. He's not willing to sign a new contract, and therefore Juventus want to cash in this summer. They don't see him as part of the plans going forward. And so, again, he's on the market, he's available. This is an opportunity that's presented itself. And according to all the reports, now Barcelona are another club who've been credited with an interest in terms of potentially moving this summer. And the talk has been around a fee of sort of 12 to 15 million euros. So again, that is a bargain for a player who, if he gets back to his best and he shows the level of performance he has in the past, that is a real cut price fee. And again, you would say very much opportunistic, as Richard Hughes liked to say. So, and there are other encouraging elements to this for Liverpool. Of course, if he'd come directly off the back of those 2 injury hit seasons, you think that Liverpool, even though it's a decent opportunity in terms of a player they've liked for a long time, maybe wouldn't be going for this move and maybe would be a little bit reluctant around it. But you have to look at last season and what he did, and 33 Serie A appearances, which is pretty good in terms of availability, and 9 goals as well, which in terms of output, you really, really like that as well. I'm sure Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes are looking at that. And also, of course, they will be looking deeper than just the goals and the assists. They'll be looking at the underlying numbers, whether that will fit into what Liverpool do. And you have to think that it will do, because we know this is a player they've admired for a long time. It's a player they've obviously long thought could really fit into the system. So again, you put all those things together in terms of his availability for that sort of price, what he did last season, and the fact his contract situation is where it is, and that they've looked at him for such a long time. And it just really does strike you as an opportunistic signing that Liverpool might really want to get over the line. And I think, in terms of his fitness, Liverpool, one of the big reasons they got Arne Slot into the club was because his Feyenoord, and thanks to Arne Slot and his team, Ruben Peters being one of those, they had a really, really good record for player availability. Now, we've already seen that early in this season, where Liverpool usually starting the season with 5 or 6 injuries, aren't they? But they've actually got a decent record at the moment. And now if he can apply that to someone like Chiesa and keep him consistently fit, then he would be, again, it helps him deliver on his potential. He'd be an absolutely great option. And also, he's got a versatility as well to him that, again, would really, really fit into this Arne Slot system. He can play off the left, he can play off the right, a second striker, maybe even kind of as a false 9 or even in attacking midfield as well. So covers off a number of positions. And we know that Michael Edwards previously, when he was here, he liked players who were versatile. They could cover a number of positions. And Chiesa's absolutely that. So he really does add depth across a number of positions. And with a couple of extra Champions League games thrown in there this season, the fact that Liverpool absolutely will want to go deep in every competition, adding an experienced, high-quality option like Chiesa, who's available for a cut price, could be a really, really smart move. I mean, it is a little bit of a gamble in terms of when you throw those injuries in. Does he go back to that when he comes to the hustle and bustle of the Premier League? That is the risk there. But in terms of the upside of the depth he would add and the quality, there's no doubt about the quality that he's got. As I say, his underlying numbers are really good as well. This could be a really, really smart move from Liverpool. So, as I say, only 4 days left in the window, so not long really to find out whether this one goes one way or the other. We will have to see how it goes, but I think an exciting and very interesting link to Liverpool, and of course I'll keep you updated as things move forward with that. Do let me know as ever in the comments what you think. Is Chiesa, would he be a smart signing for that sort of money? Do you think it's a little bit risky, or how excited are you by the potential for him to sign? Now, before I leave, do want to cover off a couple of other transfer bits and bobs that have been happening across the day. I'm sure you will have seen that Liverpool have agreed a deal with Valencia for the goalkeeper Giorgi Mamardashvili. I have spoken about him on the channel before, but now that deal is officially done at 35 million euros in total. That will be a 30 million euro initial fee and then 5 million euros in potential add-ons going forward from there. And of course, he won't be joining Liverpool this summer. The idea is now, and as part of the deal, it will be loaned back to Valencia for a single season, and then Liverpool will assess it from there. Maybe that will be, of course, you don't know, it'll be maybe a loan back to Valencia again, could even be a loan within the Premier League. Of course, Premier League rules meant that they weren't able to buy him and immediately loan him out to another Premier League club, so they might think, particularly if they're going to get maybe 2 more years out of Alisson, that the idea would be then to loan him within the Premier League after this Valencia loan is done. But we'll have to see on that front, and it's kind of interesting because I think with Alisson, he's spoken about his future. He does seem to be committed for at least the next couple of seasons, so could be a really smart move in terms of lining up his replacement. And I think I have seen some comments, maybe people saying that this doesn't really make sense. He's not a defensive midfielder. He's not what Liverpool need at the moment. But I think speaking to sources at Liverpool today, and they very much said to me, look, it's all about ensuring that we're not in a position where we're scratching around in the way that we are with a defensive midfielder. If we'd have got ahead of the Fabinho issue before it happened in this way, then we wouldn't be in this difficult situation looking for sixes in a sparse market. So what Liverpool are doing is making sure that whenever Alisson does leave, they've already got his replacement lined up. And in Mamardashvili, I have to say, I think they're a very, very smart replacement to line up, because he's only 23 years old, but he's already performing at a very high level. I mean, you look at it across Europe's top 5 leagues last season, he was the 3rd best in terms of the expected goals he prevented versus actual goals. So he prevented effectively 10 goals more than he should have with the shots that Valencia faced and the opportunities they faced. As I say, he was only 3rd out of all the top European leagues in that regard, with only Donnarumma and Di Gregorio at Monza ahead of him. So it shows you how good he was last season. And he was also the best goalkeeper at the European Championship in that regard as well, preventing around 4 goals scored against Georgia. So really top class, very good age, only 23. He's going to get better, you would imagine, with experience as well. So this, to me, looks a very, very smart piece of business, and we'll see. He's having his medical today. That's the last I heard about it. But we expect that deal to be done, obviously, in the next couple of days or so. And as I say, I think that is a very, very smart piece of business, even though it's not maybe well received by some fans. I think it is a smart one. Now, a couple of other bits to tidy up. There has been talk about Kostas Tsimikas and a potential loan move to Olympiacos, and I still personally think he's potential candidate to leave in these next few days of the window. Let's keep an eye on how that one develops and whether anything happens there. But my understanding is that Liverpool at the moment still haven't received any approaches, nothing from Olympiacos to suggest a loan or any permanent offers at the moment. So it is all quiet on that front, but maybe one to keep an eye on in terms of if there's any further developments. And just one more little bit that caught up today. James McConnell, I've spoken about him as a potential loan move this summer. There is a possibility that might get scuppered by an injury he's sustained recently, so not in training at the moment, so that could damage his chances of getting a loan move. Might have to be postponed till January, but again, we'll have to see. Maybe a club can strike a loan deal early for him to bring him in when he's fit, but that would be kind of unusual. So I just thought that was worth mentioning, because he was an obvious candidate for a loan, but there's not been a lot of links out there, and that will be the reason why. So going to leave it there for this transfer update. So things really actually are starting to happen. I feel like I've been promising this all month, but here we are at the end of August, and as Richard Hughes said, things are actually starting to kick off. So very few exciting few days potentially ahead. Do let me know in the comments what you think. Who else, do you think Chiesa would be a good signing? Do you think someone else should be targeted? What other positions should Liverpool look to strengthen? We don't think it's going to be defensive midfield, but if not that, then where else should they strengthen? Always good to hear your thoughts on that, so do let me know. And if you can like and subscribe as ever, massively helpful. Definitely subscribe if you're new to the channel, because we keep you across all Liverpool transfers and all Liverpool news, and of course all the matches as well. So it's a really good place to be at the moment, particularly as we move towards this exciting end to the summer, we hope. So hopefully I'll see you guys soon for another transfer update.